was at a school recently, I had a teacher ask me a very interesting question. What's the difference, really, between theme-based learning and project-based learning? Well, the minute she asked, my heart kind of went pitter-pat, because back in the 1980s, I wrote quite a few books on theme-based learning. For example, Friendship, and I also wrote Rocks and Soil, and many other titles. Well, not only did I write these, but I was also using them in my classroom at that time. And I really think that it brought a lot of the student need learning together. And I was even doing things back then like making sure that we had titles that were literature-based and then complementary based on information, and then vice versa, so that the students were really beginning to understand how we could have literature and informational text that helps us learn about the world around us. I also made sure that we had language and writing experiences, and math was involved, and science and social studies, and art and music, and life skills. And I also made certain that for the culminating activities, for the summatives, if you will, of the unit, that they were more participatory and meaningful, about career choices, for example, and the idea of even possibly having a paleontologist come to the classroom or a geologist. We talked about also creating a fossil and then presenting that fossil possibly to a guest speaker. But at that time, I did not really do it with the characteristics of what we now know is true best practice project-based learning. So I'm someone who believes strongly in the BIE model that has 8 characteristics that we need to have to be truly a project-based environment. And I thought today I would talk about 3 of them. One is authenticity, meaning that the students have an authentic purpose for learning what they're learning about, of course aligned to the standards and to the curriculum that is expected at that grade level. And with that, the students begin to have more of a voice and a choice. I used to always make sure that I had my students have choices, but did I really include their voice in it and allowed their voice to possibly even change the direction that I was thinking possibly the unit should be going in? And then last but definitely not least, we want to make sure there's a public product where the public product, sort of like I would say in this particular one on Rocks and Soil, that we have guest people, not just the teacher or maybe our own school, but someone in a meaningful way giving our students feedback and encouragement as learners so they can see themselves as being a part of the collective whole. Because really, honestly, we all learn for a lifetime. So my thought for you today is, with your units that you're doing now, whether very traditional or whether theme-based, and you're trying to move toward a more project-based environment, what can you begin to do in baby steps or a giant leap that will lead more toward having students have authenticity, that student voice and their choice, as well as a meaningful public product that allows for critique and revision to their own work or own ideas?